Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge.
I'm having, let's see, volume issues. See if that did it. Can someone say good morning again so I can,
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
huh? Uh-oh. Let me see what I have going on here. Can you all hear me pretty well?
Yes.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jordan?
I'll be down in a minute, Judge.
Can you give me a buzz? I cannot hear.
Miss Kane, you're gonna need to mute your phone.
Okay.
Oh no, it's talking to the lady on the chair.
Right.
Boy, you talk to yourself?
Everyone, hold on a second. I've got very low volume. You may be able to hear me well, but I cannot hear the other persons on Zoom very well. Someone is coming to look at the speakers. So give me a few minutes and we'll get started. I apologize. We're having a few technical difficulties at the moment.
Show y'all have it say mute. She never even she's still talking. Yeah, she probably if his case, I can't want you to mute y'all since you did already, okay? I just turned it on, say.
Ms. Houston, can you please mute yourself?
Mr. Walker,
Yes, Your Honor.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You're better now. So I've got you now. I can, okay. I've got my technician here, Mr. Jordan, is helping me. Okay, gotcha. Okay, now we're ready. I could see you all, but I couldn't hear you, so I apologize. Hold on one second.
Almost started at 6.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, we're ready to begin. Let me call the calendar. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Judge Regina Mincy, and this is the state all-purpose calendar for Tuesday, April the 19th, 2022. I will be the judge presiding today. What is our, do we have a reset date or they're all further notice? All will be further notice, okay? And I just want to remind everyone before we begin that this entire proceeding is being live streamed and recorded on YouTube and across the internet. So please govern yourselves accordingly. I also want to let those on the calendar know that you do have a right to remain silent. And remember that things that you may say about your facts and occurrences, unless you're taking a plea, could and will be held against you. So listen to your attorneys and govern yourselves accordingly. All right, we're going to start. Who do we have in? Are we starting at South Annex 3 South? Where are we starting?
South Annex, we have a probation revocation, position 1, Ms. Hubbard.
Okay, I normally don't start that calendar first. We usually go through the state all purpose. Is that correct, Ms. Middlebrook? Oh, is that your only person at the South Annex?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that so that I can let you go. We'll do that one first. And that is which position again, Deputy?
Position 1, Shamika Hubbard.
All right, this is case number 17 CR 016397E, State versus Shamika Hubbard. Your charge is 1 count of battery family violence with the offense date of March 21st, 2017. And I know that you've already heard my announcements, Ms. Hubbard.
Your camera
I'm sorry.
Not Your Honor, I apologize.
Oh, okay. I was making sure. There's someone else who's not muted. Ms. Kane.
I don't play like
Ms. Kane. Yes,
Oh,
thank
yes,
you.
ma'am.
Can you also mute yourself?
There's your camera.
I was on mute. I was on mute.
No, your camera not on.
not worried about your camera at this point. Your microphone is not muted. We can hear your conversation.
My phone was on me, and I don't know why you can hear. I don't know how.
Mr. Jordan, are you able to mute her? You see the little red microphone symbol?
Now it says unmute.
Yeah, so you want to mute, click it again so that it will be muted. I should not be able to hear you. I'll let you keep trying to find it, but please just be very quiet at this point. But
I'm not. It's on.
I got it, Judge. I'm backing
okay,
off.
thank you. All right, Ms. Middleton. May I place you and the defendant both under oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hands. Do you both affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right, put your hands down. Go ahead, Ms. Middleton, with probation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Shamika Hubbard appeared in Fulton County State Court on November 5th, 2018 for the charges of simple battery, family violence, and was sentenced to 12 months to probation. She was originally sentenced to complete domestic violence intervention program classes. She had a prior revocation hearing on April the 5th, 2019, where the domestic violence classes were converted to 2 days of anger management. She did not comply with that order. A warrant was issued. She has 21 days left on the case, but I believe she's been in custody 14 days. So probation is going to recommend that she receives credit for time served when we close her case.
All right. All right, we'll report this as a probation violation based on your recommendation. I will go ahead and accept that. Unless there are any other holds, you usually release within 24 hours. And is there anything else that I need to take up, Ms. Middleton?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept the 14 days credit for time served. And unless there are any other holds, you should be released within 24 hours.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, ladies, let's go.
Thank you.
This is number 6 and 7, Mr. Cantrell.
Okay. Mr. Corey Cantrell, this is case number 22CR002025H, wherein you're charged with 1 count of battery, substantial physical harm. The offense date is December 31st, 2021. And I understand that this is going to be an arraignment, Mr. Finley.
That's correct, Judge, and good morning. But
Good morning.
that's correct, Judge Vinci. This is just going to be arraigned.
Okay, on both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, let's take the first case, which is position number 6. And you're in 3 South, is that correct, Mr. Cantrell?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And again, did you hear the warnings? I first want to inform you that anything that you state about the facts and occurrences of your case can and will be held against you, so govern yourself accordingly. Listen to your attorney, Mr. Finley. Do you all waive the formal reading of the accusation, or do I need to read that?
I do waive, Judge.
Okay. All right, and in this case, ending in 20258, again, Mr. Cantrell, you've been charged with 1 count of battery, substantial physical harm. Your attorney has waived the formal reading of the accusation. This case will be reset for a jury trial, and that trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom this case is assigned as further notice for trial. Make sure that you keep your address updated with your attorney and with the clerk so that you will receive future notices of your court dates. And again, I will accept this as your arraignment for this case. You do not have the burden to prove the charge at trial. The state, represented by the Solicitor General, will bear that burden, and they're represented here today. And they will have to convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction in this case. If they do get a conviction, you could face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison and/or a fine of $1,000 for your charge, and this could run currently or consecutively. Based on this information, how do you plead to the charge of battery, substantial physical harm?
Not guilty.
All right. I accept your not guilty plea, and this case will be reset for the notice for trial. All right, let's do your next case, which is 22 CR 002032H. You're charged with 1 count of driving hit and run, a 2nd count duty of driver to stop at or return to the scene of an accident, 3rd count of failure to yield to right of way to emergency vehicle, 4th count, which is driving while license suspended or revoked, and then a count of failure to maintain insurance while driving, and then willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Looks like count 2 merges into count 1. And how do you plead to this case, Mr. Cantrell?
Not guilty.
All right, I will accept your not guilty plea, and remember again that if the state proves this case beyond a reasonable doubt, you could be convicted of up to 1 year on each charge and $1,000 fine. They could run concurrently or consecutively depending on what happens at a later date. I will accept your plea of not guilty to all of those charges on this case. And Mr. Finley, again, you waive the formal reading of the accusation. Is that correct?
I do, Judge.
Okay. All right, so you've been arraigned on both cases and you'll be further noticed for trial. All right, Mr. Cantrell?
All right.
All right, that should conclude these 2 cases.
How you doing? Yeah,
Which case is this?
add on 1, Mr. Bakur.
Okay.
Oh,
Is your thoughts,
Judge,
Yes.
Your Honor, if I could, this one is not, I'm sorry, this one, he was not supposed to be pulled. I'm submitting some paperwork to the court on his behalf.
Okay.
Yes, but he is going to be a reset for the notice, Judge.
Okay. So do you have that, Ms. Middlebrooks? Okay, so we will reset your case for further notice, and your attorney can inform you as to what will happen next, Mr. Bakur. That's 22 CR 002118G. All right, you will receive a notice about your next court date, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm.
Good morning, y'all. This is courtroom 2. We have position number 2, Mr. Gregory Anderson.
Okay. This is case number 22 CR 002047D. Mr. Gregory Anderson Jr., you're charged with 1 count of terroristic threats with the offense date of March 1st, 2022. And is this going to still be a negotiated plea?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. And again, remember, Mr. Anderson, we lost our camera. Oh, there you are, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just making sure you were there. Remember, again, that I need to inform you that you have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything you say about the facts and occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. So listen to Mr. Finley, your attorney. I place you under oath. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sari, good morning. What is the state's recommendation?
Good morning, Judge. The state and the defense have negotiated a plea of 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 11 days, the balance probated, an 8 weeks anger management course, and stay away from 840 Pinehurst Terrace Southwest, and no contact with the victim, Yasmin, Yasmyne Hunter. Nothing further.
All right. Mr. Finley, is that your understanding of the negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. That is our understanding of the negotiated plea, Judge. We would just ask that for one, probation fees would be waived as finances are an issue in Mr. Anderson's life. And also, obviously, the only condition that it has is obviously other than no further contact, which he has no problem with. The only other condition is the anger management. So we're just asking that once he does complete that anger management, if the balance of probation could either be terminated or be not reporting, Judge.
All right, Ms. Sari.
Your Honor, the state has no objection.
Okay. All right, no objection to the termination or the non-reporting? Which one?
To the termination.
Okay.
I'm sorry, to the non-reporting. Sorry.
Non-reporting?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Finley, I will agree to waive the probation fees, and then once the anger management course is completed, that he will go non-reporting after that time. So again, I am getting ready to take the plea with you, Mr. Anderson. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Mr. Finley, do you stipulate to venue, identity, and the factual basis?
I do, Judge.
All right. And again, Mr. Finley, I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, it's my understanding that you are going to enter into a guilty plea this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, I am.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving certain rights? The one first being the right to presumption of innocence.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up and waiving the right to trial by judge or jury, whichever you prefer?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And are you again prepared to and agree to waive these rights today?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Has anyone told you that you will receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you're currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea today?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And do you offer this guilty plea freely, voluntarily, with the full understanding of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And as to the charge of terroristic threats, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I'm going to accept this plea as negotiated. And again, the conditions or the sentence has been read, and it is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 11 days, balance probated, 8 weeks anger management. And once you complete that 8-week anger management course, you will go non-reporting. You are to stay away from 840 Pinehurst Terrace Southwest, not to go there, and no further contact with the victim, Yasmin Hunter. Excuse me, and I'm going to waive your probation fees to help you. And as I stated, after you complete that 8-week anger management, you will go non-reporting. Is there anything else, counsel, that I need to take up from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All
Nothing
right.
further, Judge.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Next, Your Honor, we have position 4 and position 5, Mr. Baldry, Keith Baldry.
Okay.
How do I start? How do I make myself?
I'm sorry. Who's speaking? Someone again does not have their phone muted. It still looks like it's Sariana Kane. Okay. So in positions 4 and 5, Mr. Finley,
That's correct, Judge.
4 is bond hearing, 5 is arraignment, or
That's correct, Judge. Yeah, 4 is bond hearing. That's correct.
okay. Case number 18 CR 0062588Y. Mr. Keith Baldry, you're charged with obstruction of a law enforcement officer and battery family violence. Looks like the first one has an offense date of June 15, 2018. The second charge of battery family violence has an offense date of June 14, 2018. And as far as this being a bond hearing, I will go with Ms. Sari first. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the 2018 incident, officers responded to the incident location at in City Suites at 845 North Central Avenue in Hapeville. They responded regarding a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, Sariana Kane. That's Sairyona. Kane is Cain. And officers stated that her mouth was bleeding profusely and that she had several lacerations to her face. The victim's shirt was also stained with blood. Your Honor, the victim in this case advised that she was in the hotel room when the defendant came in from work very angry. The defendant started an argument with the victim, and the victim stepped out of the room to get away from him and to get air. When the victim was outside, she smoked a cigarette, and the defendant came outside. He approached her and punched her in the face and then fled the scene. Then officers arrived. They put out a bolo for the defendant, and a few hours later, the officers were informed that the defendant had returned to the incident location, but he was wearing a different colored t-shirt. And when the officers saw the defendant, when the defendant saw the officers, he ran into a wooded area and he was eventually captured and arrested. Your Honor, the current bond on this case is a $5,500 surety bond. The state is recommending the bond remain as set. There has been no change in this case. Your Honor, this defendant actually FTA'd on this case where his bond was reconsidered and it was reduced. So he subsequently failed to appear to even answer for these charges. He does have multiple probation violations in his history in 2014 and 2015. He does have a couple of charges that I would need to put in the chat that shows that he does have a propensity for violence. He does present a risk of reoffending. He has 23 cycles. He presents a risk of intimidating this witness, and he is a danger to the community. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Finley.
Yes, Your Honor. And before I start, I just want to clarify. I have that for the obstruction, it's a $5,500 cash bond, not a surety bond. If I could, I just wanted to verify.
Oh, it is cash bond?
That's what it is?
Yes, my clerk has cash bond.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. So we are asking for a bond modification on behalf of Mr. Bowdry regarding that $5,500 cash bond. Mr. Bowdry is someone that has held a stable job at Morning First as a delivery driver for a year and a half now. He does have kids of which he does help support. As we heard, he did have an FTA. Mr. Bowdry takes complete responsibility for that FTA. He was very honest and said that he had not checked his mailbox for a period of time, which led to that missed court appearance, which he takes full responsibility for, and assured me that would not happen again. Regarding the $5,500 cash bond, Judge, finances are an issue in his life. That cash bond is effectively a no bond because he has no chance of coming even close to affording that. So I'm just asking, Judge, that $5,500 cash bond be converted to a $3,000 surety bond, so he could fight this case from the outside and at least have a chance to pay that bond. And additionally, Your Honor, we were also asking for the regarding the no further contact. I did speak with Ms. Kane, and she did say that she wanted to speak on his behalf and that she did want contact with him. So I believe she is on the Zoom.
All right. How many days has he been in jail, Mr. Finley?
Yes, Judge. It looks like he's been in jail for 14 days now.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I've put charges in the chat to you if you could take a look at those.
And excuse me, I stand corrected. It's 16 days, it looks like, on Odyssey.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right, Ms. Kane, you wish to address the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth and the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to tell the court today about this incident?
I mean, I would like to have contact with him. We've become further than the point of that. Like, he's become a good friend. We've been better with each other. And that was just a mistake that happened, but everything is fine between the two of us now.
Okay. Do you all have any children together?
No, ma'am.
And are you still residing together or intending to reside together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and are you residing at the in-city suites or somewhere different?
No, ma'am. We don't stay in the same house, so we plan to get a house together.
Okay, that was what I was asking you. You all do not reside together?
No, ma'am.
And who was residing at the in-city suites at 2018 at the time of the incident?
He was. We both were.
You both were, but you don't reside there any longer. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What I'm going to do is to convert this to a $6,000 surety bond. And the breakdown would be $2,000 on the obstruction and $4,000 on the battery family violence. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Also, I guess we'll continue the stay away from the in-city suites for what that's worth at this point. And I'm going to say again that as far as any contact with Ms. Kane, that there be no further violent contact,
Your Honor, if I may, speak to the contact. Your Honor, there's already a no contact order in place. We're asking that that remain as said. This was a domestic violence situation. And as we've heard from the victim herself, they're now back together. So it's just a clear indication of the cycle of violence. And in order to protect the victim, we're asking for that no contact to be put in order. He does also have another case, which we'll get to next, but we're asking for that no contact to stay in place.
Okay, is the other case with the same victim?
It's not, Your Honor. It's another victim, but it's also another domestic violence situation.
All right, Ms. Kane, I have heard from you. What I'm doing is converting the cash bond to a surety bond of $6,000. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and I'm going to go with the state's recommendation of no contact with you since you stated that you all do not live together at the present. So I want it to remain that way for your safety. So I'm going to continue with the bond condition of no contact with you right now. Let's make sure that you're going to be safe going forward. All right. Okay, so now let's do the other case. All right, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I need to arraign you. He needs to be arraigned, is that correct, Mr. Finley? No, I'm sorry, that's for position 4, he's already been arraigned. It's position 5 he needs to be arraigned for.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, so he's already, so this was just on bond. All right, that is my ruling on the bond. So now we'll go to the next case, which is position 5. Ms. Kane, you may sign off, and I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is case number 22 CR 002008Y. You charge Mr. Baldry with 1 count of battery family violence. And on this case, we're going to arraign you today. The offense date is February the 20th, 2022. And again, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say about the facts and occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. So please govern yourself accordingly. And Mr. Finley, do you waive for formal reading of the accusation?
I do, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Baldry, again, you are charged with 1 count of battery family violence. And this case will be reset before the division judge. I also want you to know with this charge, it carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail or $1,000 fine. And again, this case is going to be reset for a jury trial, and that trial will be scheduled by the state court division judge. At the jury trial, of course, you do have Mr. Finley, your right to an attorney. And again, you do not have the burden to prove the charge at trial. The state, represented by the Solicitor General's office, will bear that burden and will have to convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction in your case. If they do rather get a conviction, you could face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $1,000. That could run concurrently or consecutively, but you only have 1 charge. Based on this information, do you plead not guilty to this charge?
Not guilty.
Okay. All right, I accept your plea of not guilty, and this case would be further reset for trial, and you have now been arraigned of the formal charges. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else with this defendant, Mr. Finley?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, you gotta go to court. Y'all gotta go to court. Sure. Can't trial when they say trial, really ain't no trial like we.
Someone, okay, Miss. Aquarius Houston, all right.
Okay, next we have position 3 on the probation calendar, Mr. Magum.
Is this they said probation calendar?
Yes, position 3.
Your Honor, if we could have the probation calendar at the end, I still need to talk. I was just given the calendar shortly before,
Okay.
court, so I need to talk to them. Thank you.
Okay, Deputy, can we hold on the probation revocation calendar to the end? I'm sorry about that. We need to continue with the SAP calendar for now.
Judge, is it possible for Mr. Felling to call out to the jail to interview the people you need to talk to, because the sheriff deputies are moving around pulling inmates? So if they're at 3 South now, I'm thinking that same deputy has to go pull someone
Same
else.
deputy has to,
Just
okay.
one person on 3 South. Everyone else is in courtroom 2.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, you just have the one person in 3 South?
I can, whatever's easiest, I can call if need be. Whatever works.
Who has position number 9?
I have position number 9.
Because he's next.
Morning,
Okay.
Mr. Howard.
Yes, Judge. If 3 South I can handle those probation cases while the other calendar is going. I can be working on talking with them. So if 3 South gives me a number I can call, they can call me.
Okay. Thank you
whatever
so
works.
much. We appreciate you helping us out this morning.
Yes.
I can put you in the breakout room, Mr. Howard.
Okay, that'll be
They said
fine.
there's only one person there.
Okay,
All right. Sounds good.
thank you. All right, Deputy, who do we have next?
In courtroom 2, we have position number 9, Mr. Wyatt Finley.
This is case number 22 CR 001956C. Wyatt Finley, you're charged with 1 count of obtaining unlawful entry into MARTA, a 2nd count of certain acts, bus, rail, or station prohibited, and a 3rd count of criminal trespass, all with the offense date of April the 1st, 2022. Is this going to be a negotiated plea?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Finley, we're addressing your case today, and you just heard the 3 charges that I've read against you. Is it your intent to plead guilty to these charges today?
I would like to plead no, Your Honor. If
Have
that's
you
possible.
pled NOLO within the last 5 years?
I can't recall precisely. I better not say if I don't know the exact information.
Okay, Mr. Finley, I'm sorry, do we have any information as to whether this is going to be a NOLO plea or not?
Your Honor, I did have that down, that he did want to see if he had NOLO available and was not sure if he had used it.
One moment, Judge, I'm checking.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harrison. Wait a second, I've got one in my bag.
None within the past 5 years.
All right. All right, we will accept your NOLO plea. Mr. Finley,
Well, wait, Judge, one moment. He
okay,
had one in 2016 in Gwinnett. And that was also criminal trespass.
all right, so he's not eligible.
I think he is, yes, that's the
I was
5
going to
years.
say, do the math for me. All right,
Yeah,
so he
that's it.
is 16. All right, yes, you are. Just made it there. That's, so you, I'm sorry, Mr. Finley, you are eligible for a NOLO plea, okay?
All right.
So we're going to be addressing your case today. And can you raise your right hand for me? Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And again, what is the state's recommendation on this case?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, the balance suspended, but to comply with any MARTA suspensions or any rules of MARTA that he currently has right now.
Okay. So we believe he does currently have the MARTA suspension.
Yes, Your Honor, he had two active suspensions. One ends on September 15th, 2022, and the other ends on January 3rd, 2023.
Mhm. All right. So that 2023 one.
Both. One is in
Both.
September and one is in January.
Okay. All right, govern yourself accordingly, Mr. Finley, with those MARTA suspensions that are already in place, irrespective of your plea today. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Mr. Finley, do you stipulate to the venue, identity, and factual basis?
I do, Judge.
All right. So, Mr. Finley, I want to ask you a series of questions. Are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty today, you're giving up and waiving the right to the presumption of innocence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty today, you are waiving and giving up the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up and waiving the right to trial by judge or jury, whichever you prefer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand again and are prepared to waive these rights today?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone told you that you will receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
And has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea here?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
And do you offer this guilty plea freely and voluntarily with the full understanding of the charges against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, as to these three charges, how do you plead?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, and that is a no plea. I'm going to again explain the conditions, which are 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended. And again, you're to comply with those MARTA suspensions until next year. You're not to ride MARTA while you're on probation and until those suspensions are lifted. You understand that?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that again, each of these charges carry 12 months incarceration or $1,000 fine. But I don't believe you have, there are no fines. Is that correct, Ms. Fury?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay. All right. Do you understand what your conditions of probation are, Mr. Finley?
I do.
Okay. All right. I will accept your no plea. And since you're going to be on probation, I will waive half of the fees. Oh, I'm sorry, suspended.
Correct.
I'm sorry, suspended. Don't need to do that. All right. Is there anything else that I need to take up from counsel?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right. I accept your plea. Go and good luck to you, Mr. Finley.
This number 13 is next, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Jones.
All right. I have Mr. White and Mr. Segura. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct, Judge.
This is case number 17 CR 005939A. State versus Marcel Jones. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery with the offense date of 9/7/2016. And this is a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, go forward.
The state is recommending 12 months to serve 52 days, credit for time served 26 days, balance probated, 6-week anger management, a stairway from 1051 Moreland, spelled Moreland Drive, Atlanta, and no further contact with Nicholas Johnson. Nicholas spelled Nickkolus. Johnson, common spelling. Thank you.
Okay. Is that your understanding, Mr. White?
It is, Judge, and we would just ask that you waive the first 4 months of probation fees to allow him to apply that to his anger management course, and allows probation to terminate upon completion. This is a 6-year-old case.
Right. Mr. Segura, do you have any objection to terminating upon completion of the conditions?
And we have no objection.
Sure. All right, so I do have that, and I will waive the 4 months of the fees and termination upon completing of the 6-week anger management course. All right. Okay, Mr. Jones, can you raise your, excuse me, raise your right hand for me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, you can put your hand down. I need to ask you a series of questions in order to take your plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the first one being, are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol at this time?
No, I am not, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving the right to the presumption of innocence?
Yes, Your Honor, I got a question about that. Do
Uh,
I qualify for NOLA?
I'm sorry?
Do I qualify for NOLA?
You should have asked me that before we got started. I don't know. Ms. Harrison?
No previous NOLOs, Judge.
No previous NOLOs? Okay.
Correct.
All right, we will accept your NOLO plea. I will change that. And again, you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving and giving up the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
By pleading guilty, you're waiving and giving up the right to trial by judge or jury, whichever you prefer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you prepared to agree to waive these rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone told you that you will receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty? Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty?
No.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you offer this guilty plea freely and voluntarily with a full understanding of the charges against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as to the charge of simple battery, how do you plead?
NOLA?
Okay. All right. And I will accept your NOLO plea. And again, the conditions or the sentence is 12 months to serve 52 days, credit for time served 26 days, balance probated, 6-week anger management course, stay away from 1051 Moreland Avenue, and no further contact with Nicholas Johnson. I will waive 4 months of your probation fees so that you can go ahead and start and complete your 6-week anger management course. Also, I'm going to order that your probation will terminate upon completion of the 6-week anger management course, and then waive the 4 months fees, okay?
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Good luck to you. Anything else, counsel, that we need to take up?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. That will conclude this case.
Next, Your Honor, we have position 18 and position 19, Mr. Michael Mylan.
Okay.
And Judge, there may be some confusion on Mr. Minor. I thought that he had it looks like he has private counsel, but that may be on a different charge. He has two cases on the calendar here one is definitely a public defender, and I'm not sure about the second. So we may need to break out with him.
Okay. I see ASG Harmon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Mr. Is it Milan? Mylan, okay. Mr. Mylan, do you have private counsel or not?
No, ma'am.
A private attorney?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Not on these misdemeanor charges, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so, Mr. White, are you prepared to go forward on these two cases, or are they just being arraigned, or what?
I would need to speak with him, Judge, because I was under the impression he was represented by private counsel, so did not speak with him based on the rules. So
Mr. White, both of those entries were submitted by public defenders. I'm guessing must have been an old public defender that was in the public defender's office.
yeah,
But the entry is
right.
from the public defender's office on both cases.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that now. Just
Mhm.
yesterday, when I looked it up, it looked like different issues.
Can you call over there to speak to Mr. Mylan?
Probably easier for them. I mean, I can call them or they can call me. I'm at 3-13-28.
Your Honor, we might have a slight problem. Mr. White, you have position 27, correct?
I will need to speak. I was informed this morning that I would need to speak with position 27. Yes.
So you're gonna need to speak to both positions, and also after those two positions, we only have the two probation revocation positions, which is position 2, Anthony Johnson, and position 4, Dominic West, which Mr. Finley has to talk to.
Okay.
Those are the only four we have left.
So Mr. Howard is going to, he's going to talk to the probation ones, Officer Norris.
Okay, and then you can put Mr. White in the breakout room, and I'll have Mr. Howard call on the phone. So we can knock two birds out one stone.
Correct, thank you.
And Your Honor, if I may, if I can inquire, PD White, are you also handling position 26? I didn't see an announcement for those two positions.
I believe Mr. Finley's handling 26.
So
I'm not sure, but there was no offer on position 26.
There was an offer. If you go back and look at the email, the clerk, when they sent out the calendar, it was out of order. So the calendar is out of order, but I emailed an offer to PD Finley yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at, that's kind of what I think threw us off, is when it was out of order. So I'm gonna need to take a look at that.
But I emailed PD Finley and Derek Howard yesterday. I'm sorry, PD White, I didn't know you were gonna be here.
Me neither, no worries.
It was a first in life offer for what it's worth, but I digress. Thank you, Judge.
Oh, no, that's okay. Do we need to take a 10-minute recess? Because I think everyone needs to be on the telephone for a moment.
And Mr. White, you need a breakout room or courtroom too?
Yeah.
And
yes.
Okay. And I just want to verify too. So for position 26, it says the offer says pending.
Right, and then I followed up with the email to you and Mr. Howard.
Oh, let me see. I must have not gotten that. Would you mind?
I can resend
me? Yeah, if you don't mind. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. So Mr. Jordan, you're putting them in a breakout, and then the others are calling. So we'll recess for maybe 10 minutes.
So yes, sir, they're in the breakout room.
Okay, we'll be in recess for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and hopefully we'll be ready to finish up. Thank you, everyone. All right, are we ready?
We're ready with 18, 19, and 27.
Okay.
And Officer Norris is going to get position 26. So I've not spoken with him yet, but hopefully we could do Attorney White's and then maybe hopefully he'll be back. If not, I guess. the probation.
Right, we'll do.
The announcement for 18 and 19 are not guilty, and I guess it will arraign him, Judge, and position 27 will be a negotiated plea.
Okay. All right, are you Mr. Michael Milan? No.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
Can you hear me? No, sir.
All right, Mr. Milan, we're here on case number 19 CR 003958D, and you're charged with 1 count of battering and a 2nd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, both with the offense date of December 19th, 2018. And we're going to arraign your cases today. Does defense counsel, Mr. White, do you waive a formal reading of the accusation?
We do a formal reading, Judge.
Okay. And so again, Mr. Milan, you've been charged with the 2 offenses that I just read, which are battery and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. And I just want you to know that, again, each of these offenses carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail or a maximum fine of $1,000 for each. They may run concurrently or consecutively. This case is being reset for trial. The trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom the case is assigned and further notice for trial. Make sure that you keep your address updated with your attorney and with the court. Again, you do not have the burden of proof to prove the charges at trial, but the state has that burden, and they will be represented by the Solicitor General's office, and will have to convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction in your case. If they do get a conviction, you could face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison and fine of $1,000 for each charge. Based on this information, do you plead not guilty to these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I accept your plea of not guilty. This case has been arraigned and it will be further noticed for trial by the division judge. All right, now let's do your second case. Position 19, that's 20 CR 005232D. And on that case, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, and that offense date is June 19th, 2019. And again, Mr. White, do you waive the formal reading of the accusation?
Yes, Your Honor, we waive.
All right. And you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, which has been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. This charge carries a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail or a maximum fine of $1,000. This case will be reset for trial, and that trial is going to be scheduled by the state court judge to whom this case is assigned as further notice for trial. Again, you do not have the burden to prove the charge at trial. The state, represented by the Solicitor General will bear that burden and will have to convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction. If they do get a conviction in this case, again, you could face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison, fine of $1,000. Based upon this information, do you plead not guilty to this charge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I accept your plea of not guilty. This case will be reset for trial and you have been arraigned. All right,
Thank you,
that should
sir.
conclude us. Thank you.
Oh. Position number 27, Your Honor, Mr. Michael Wilcox.
All right. And this is a negotiated plea, is that correct?
It is
That's my understanding, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a time served offer with 15 days being in confinement, balance suspended with a stay away condition at the Chevron located on 923 Lee Street. And there's no objection to non-reporting probation.
Well, it's balance suspended, correct?
I'm sorry. You're right.
I just looked at that, balance is suspended. Thank you,
That is
Mr.
correct.
White.
Balance suspended.
And
All
what was
right.
the address of the Chevron?
923 Lee Street.
All
Thank you.
right, this is case number 22 CR 002055C. Mr. Michael Wilcox, that is you, correct?
Yeah, yes,
Okay, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to the charge of criminal trespass. Is that correct?
yeah,
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
yeah,
Okay, put your hand down. Then I ask you a series of questions in order to accept your guilty plea, okay?
okay,
The first question being, are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol at this time?
no,
Are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
yeah,
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up and waiving the right to the presumption of innocence?
yeah,
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself?
yeah,
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up and waiving the right to the right to a trial by judge or jury?
yeah,
And are you prepared and agree to waive these rights today?
yes,
Has anyone told you that you will receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty?
no,
Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty?
no,
Do you understand that if you are currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea today?
yes,
And do you offer this guilty plea freely and voluntarily with the full understanding of the charge against you?
yeah,
And as to the charge of criminal trespass, how do you plead?
guilty,
All right, and again, your conditions or your sentence rather is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, which is 15 days, balance suspended, and you are to stay away from the Chevron at 923 Lee Street in Atlanta. You go back there, you will be arrested, understand?
you understand?
Okay, all right, and let's see, is there anything else that I need to take up, counsel?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Okay,
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
all right, so that is the plea that we are accepting for you today. Good luck to you, Mr. Wilcox.
All right,
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you.
Your Honor, we can go to probation revocation calendar to 3 South.
Okay. I was gonna say Mr. Finley, or is Mr. Howard complete?
Yeah, I just have one guy to get for Mr. Finley. He's on his way down now, and that's gonna be Mr. Thompson. Position 6.
Okay,
Mr. White, can you send me your telephone number, please?
And then Judge Mency, the only other two is position 1 and position 8, which I had hold for announcement. Those are just waiver of appearance arraignments.
okay. You said 1 and
1 and number 8.
okay, 1 and 8, okay. Okay, who do we have at 3 South?
That should be position number 3, Mr. Mangum, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is case number 19 CR 003961J. Brandon Mangum, you're charged of 1 count of battery family violence with an offense date of 11/25/2018. And Mr. Mangum, raise your right hand for me. Oh, I'm sorry, this is probation. I'm sorry, put your hand down. I don't need to swear you in. I'm sorry. But I'm looking for probation. Let's see, I think she's Middleton. Ms. Middleton, probation.
I'm calling them now, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
I can't get them to answer. I'm trying again.
Please leave.
Yeah, 400.
She's logging on now, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Middleton.
I'm sorry, Judge. I had logged.
Oh, that's okay. This is position number 3, Brandon Mangum, 19 CR 003961J. You're already sworn in earlier. He's charged with 1 count of battery family violence with the offense date of November 25th, 2018.
Yes, Your Honor. He was appeared before state court on May 13, 2019 for the charges of battery and was sentenced to 12 months. He was sentenced to complete domestic violence intervention programs, and we do not have record that he completed that. So he has 6 months to 17 days left, and we're asking that he be continued on probation and enroll in domestic violence intervention program classes within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge, we stipulate to the violation. However, we would ask for just a little bit of time to verify his time in DOC custody, because according to what he tells me, he's been in DOC custody since May 11th of 2020. He's been continuously incarcerated between there and Gwinnett and Fulton. And if I can verify that, then it would, in talking with Ms. Middleton, that will change the recommendation. So if we could hold till I can verify that, Judge, I'm working on that. The others, we are, I am prepared to go ahead and proceed with.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that. Hold, Mr. Mangum, let us verify that information. And then we'll come back to you. Sorry, Deputy, is that the only one left in 3 South? And I'm sorry, we're verifying some information first.
Okay.
So please hold for me. Courtroom 2.
Yes, Your Honor. Whenever you're ready, we have position number 2 on the probation revocation, Mr. Anthony Johnson.
Okay. Ready for that one, Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. This is 17 CR 018382G. Anthony Johnson, you're charged with attempting to misrepresent a tag, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and operation of a motor vehicle with expired, no license plate, all with the offense date of 9/4/2015. Okay, Ms. Middleton?
Thank you, Your Honor. He appeared in Fulton County on April 24th, 2019 for the charges of obstruction of officer. Was sentenced to 12 months. He was sentenced to pay fines and fees. He was sentenced to complete 30 hours of community service, and he was sentenced to pay, sentenced to complete 30 hours of community service. He has 10 months and 1 day left. He spent 21 days in custody from my understanding, but we're going to recommend that he receives credit for time served and close his case.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Judge, that is our understanding of the recommendation, and we would ask the court to follow that recommendation.
Okay. All right, I will accept.
Perfect.
The disposition. I will note it as a violation. However, based on the recommendation, I will allow you to continue. And then when will he be complete? Once he finished,
No, Judge, asking to close the case out today.
Oh, I'm sorry, this one is
Yes.
closing.
Yes.
Then I would say to you, Mr. Johnson, good luck, and we're going to close this case out today. All right. Thank you.
Position number 4, Mr. West, probation.
Okay. Morning. This is 15 CR 008057E. Dominic West, you're charged with 1 count of forgery in the 4th degree, 2nd count of forgery in the 4th degree, 3rd count of forgery in the 4th degree. So all four counts of forgery in the 4th degree with the offense date of March 14, 2015. Ms. Middleton?
Thank you, Your Honor. He appeared in Fulton County State Court on October 23rd, 2015. He was sentenced to 24 months of probation. He was sentenced to pay a restitution to SunTrust Bank, Attention Corporate Security, for the sum of $2,929. He was also sentenced to complete 100 hours of community service, and he has 1 year, 2 months, and 1 day left on probation. We're recommending that he be continued on.
All right, Mr. Howard?
Judge, we stipulate that he has not met the requirements. However, we would ask for a slight modification on the requirements. Mr. West is gonna have to reestablish stable housing once he's released. He's gonna go over to Georgia Works Gateway to begin that process of finding more stable housing. He doesn't have any income right now. He indicates that he has worked in landscaping in the past where he was able to earn, decent income to be able to pay his basic needs. We anticipate, Judge, it's going to be a little bit of time before he'll be able to make payment, at least a couple of months on the restitution amount. Essentially, we're asking that the 100 hours of community service be stricken so that obviously he needs to be working full bore, earning income as soon as possible and as often as possible to be able to make good on this restitution payment. So we would just ask that he be continued and that it just be the restitution amount that he be required to pay. And we would ask for that any probation fees be waived so that any money he brings in can go towards that restitution amount.
And we're not opposed to that, Your Honor. That's fine with probation.
Okay. So what I'll do, we'll continue you, Mr. West. We'll give you another opportunity. I will waive the probation fees and we will discard or delete the 100 hours community service, trying to give you a chance to get it together and go ahead and start working and just pay the restitution of the $2,929 to SunTrust, now Truist. And so that's what we'll do. Continue, no probation fees, and hope that you can get working, stable housing, and work on paying that restitution back. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Position number 26, Your Honor.
All
Mr. Thompson.
All right, this is case number 20 CR, excuse me, 000654B, Rory Thompson. You're charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol is safe, basic rules, too fast for conditions, failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, driving without a valid license, reckless driving, and possession of open alcohol container. 5 charges with the offense date of March 25th, 2018, and 1 with the offense date of January the 21st, 2020. Is that correct?
And that's a typo, Your Honor.
Probably a typo. They all should be March 25th, 2018.
That is correct.
Okay. Just making sure. All right. And again, Ms. Middleton. Oh, this is state all purpose. And this is state all purpose. All right. And 26, is this just an arraignment?
So this is I just got this offer from Mr. Walker and just reviewed it
This is a
with
negotiated plea.
yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to verify really quick what RR and
Okay.
VIP stand for.
RR would be
Walker, what's
risk
up?
reduction. And then VIP is the victim impact panel that's put on by MAD. Basically, you go to a speaking panel and you listen to
Yeah.
speakers who've been affected by drunk driving.
Understood. Okay. Yes, Your Honor, this will be a negotiated plea.
All right, Mr. Walker.
Give me 1 second. Let me get it pulled up. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay.
And thanks for explaining that, Mr. Walker. Appreciate it.
No worries.
They wouldn't.
Okay, so to the 1 count of DUI is going to be 12 months to serve, 37 days, credit for time served of 37 days, balance probated with a $600 fine, a risk reduction course, an alcohol and drug evaluation with any necessary treatment, 40 hours of community service, and a victim impact panel. To the count of basic rules or too fast for conditions, that count will merge into the DUI less safe. To the count of failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, that count will merge into the DUI less safe. For the driving without a valid license, that will just be a time served sentence, balance suspended. To the count of reckless driving, that count will merge into the DUI less safe. And to the possession of an open alcohol container, that will just be a time served of 37 days, balance suspended.
Okay. All right, Mr. Finley, is that your understanding of the offer and the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. That is our understanding of the offer, of which we do agree and additionally stipulate to the factual basis, ID, and venue.
All right. Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is case number 20 CR 0000654B. And I understand that you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
So I got to do 37 days.
Well, you had credit for time served.
Yeah, it's credit for time served, so it's time served, sir.
Right.
Yeah, I agree to everything.
Okay. So are you under the influence of any medication, drugs, or alcohol at this time?
No,
And are you satisfied with the services and representation of your attorney?
good man.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving the right to presumption of innocence?
Good man.
And do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving or waiving up the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself?
Yes.
And do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up or waiving the right to trial by judge or jury, whichever you prefer?
Yes.
And are you prepared and agree to waive these rights today?
Yes.
And I think did I put you under oath? I just realized I may not have. And do you affirm to tell the truth, no matter what, under the penalty of perjury today?
Yes.
And I apologize. And has anyone told you that you will receive a lesser sentence for pleading guilty today?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything to plead guilty today?
No.
And do you understand that if you are currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea here today?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Know that, but,
Okay, do you understand that that's a possibility? I don't know if you're on probation or not.
I'm on felony probation.
Okay, but I just have to inform you that it may. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, this case happened before I got the
I
probation.
can't give you advice on that, Mr. Finley.
I said this case happened before I got probation.
All right, have you spoken to your attorney about that?
We spoke briefly before. Do you want me to give you a call, sir?
Yeah.
You want me to give you a call?
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, we'll hold for a second.
Okay, I'll touch base with them really quick.
Okay.
All right, Judge Mency, we're okay to proceed. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
are you ready to proceed and continue with your guilty plea?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation, your probation may be revoked because of your guilty plea here today?
Yes.
All right, and do you offer this guilty plea freely and voluntarily with the full understanding of the charges against you?
Yes.
All right, I will accept this plea today. And Mr. Finley, I don't know that I asked you, you stipulate to venue, identity, and factual basis.
I do, Judge.
Okay, and so you heard the conditions of this plea, which are our risk reduction, VIP panel, victim impact panel, ADET, 40 hours of community service, 12 months to serve 37 days, credit for time served, balance probated, the $600 fine, that's on the DUI. The other charges merge except for the valid driver's license, which is credit for time served, balance suspended. And then the reckless driving merges. Then the possession of open alcohol containers, credit for time served, and balance suspended. So those are the conditions while you're on probation.
I got it.
So with that balance probated and the $600 fine, I'll waive 6 months of the fees, of the probation fees. Is that okay with you, Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. He can also go non-reporting once he completes the conditions.
Okay. And once you complete the conditions, you will go non-reporting for the rest of the 12 months, okay?
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else, counsel, that I need to take up?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing
All right.
further. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Thompson.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Your Honor, I think that might conclude, or do you have anyone else?
I was gonna say, is that it for you? Looking at my calendar, Miss Middlebrooks, have we missed anyone there? Number, position 3 on the probation calendar. Oh, yeah, Mr. 1 and 8, she says.
Yeah, it only was 1 and 8 were a waiver of appearance
Oh,
arraignment.
those are waivers, and okay. And I'll do the arraignment on those. Yeah, what is it with Mr. Brandon Mangum on 3? I think I was waiting for Mr. Howard to confirm whether or not.
But Your Honor, I'm gonna take these back and I won't log off and once I get back, you let me know.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think he was trying to confirm some periods of incarceration. Oh, yeah, Mr. Finley. I thought he said waiver.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you say waive appearance or waive arraignment on 1 and 8?
Oh, just waiver of appearance.
Waiver of appearance, okay. And are you waiving also the formal reading?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll waive the arraignment. I'm sorry.
Want to waive the arraignment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so those are both waivers on 1 and 8. holding on 3 on probation revocation. I was gonna say, was that it on the state all purpose? Okay. Do it 10. Let's see. 10 was released, gotcha. Seven was released. Do you all want to reconcile the calendar? Mr. Finley, Mr. Walker.
Yep, that sounds good. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Walker, did I lose you?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, did you call me?
Yes, we were going to reconcile the calendar. Would you like to do that?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
Yeah, hold on a second. I see an attorney, Mr. Blevins.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How may we help you today?
Yes, ma'am. I have an 11 o'clock. I'm just here a little early for a plea. Gabrielle Mendez with Ms. Whiteman.
Do we have that, Ms.?
What was the name of that case again?
Gabrielle Mendez.
My name of the
Ms. Weidman and I had worked it out. She gave me the link for today.
I
Thursday.
think that would be Thursday, sir. So those pleas are scheduled for Thursday at 11.
Oh, okay.
But it'll be the same Zoom link. I
Okay.
think so. You might have got confused because we're using the same Zoom link. So it's scheduled for Thursday at 11.
Thursday 11. All right. See y'all then. All right. Bye.
All right, thank you.
All
right. Okay.
Position number 1, the waiver arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 2 was a plea. Position number 3 has been released. Position number 4 was a bond modification is a $6,000 good bond. Reset jail jury. Position number 5 was a range.
Sorry, I can't hear very well.
Can't hear. Let's see.
You could tell you, make sure that mic is turned on in front of you.
On the top.
Yes, the one sitting by the computer.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn it up. Can you hear me now?
I can. Can you all hear Mr. Walker and Mr. Finley?
We still can't hear her.
Yeah.
Still can't?
So the button should be up towards the top for the mic to be on.
Yeah, she's got it
Can you hear
on.
me now?
You might have to go sit at one of those other tables there. The one like the one that's to
table
the
in
right,
front of you.
because for some reason that
Okay.
mic's not working. I'll check it out at the court.
It's loud in the courtroom, but I don't think it goes anywhere else. Y'all can't
I
hear.
think that
Mr.
one's
Walker?
turned off too.
Oh, look and see. It's on in the courtroom. You want to come?
She may have to use your
Let me
I think
see.
when I unplug those,
Oh, that. We'll
so you
blame
can
it
hear.
on. We'll blame it on Mr. Jordan. He did.
Yes, I got to plug everything back in.
Oh, really? Okay. I think it doesn't have much. Yeah, full.
Can you hear me now?
No? You all can't hear Mr. Walker?
I can hear you, but I can't hear her.
She may have to sit at your computer, Judge, because I think when I unplugged
you
that
say
big
what's the-
microphone,
Okay. She said she's gonna be the judge for the day.
yeah. So when I unplugged the big speaker, I think it might have unplugged those
Oh,
mics
took
too.
all the others out.
Right. Either that, she just gotta speak louder.
You gotta holler, holler, holler. Okay, come on. Come on up. But you do write very neat, so I can read her handwriting, unlike mine.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, Mr. Walker? Mr. Walker.
Can she speak one more time?
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
Uh-oh, we might have we corrupted something here? Let's see.
I can hear you, Judge. I think you just might have to speak up, Ms. Middlebrooks.
Just maybe speak up. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, we'll turn it all the way. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Position number 1 is waive arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 2 was a plea. Position number 3 has been released. Position number 4 was a bond modification or a $6,000 good bond, reset jail jury. Position number 5 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position number 6 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position number 7 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position number 8 was a reset jail jury. Position 9 was a plea. Position 10 was released. Position 11 and 12 were released. Position 13 was a plea. Position 14 was released. Positions 15, 16, and 17 will all be reset to the April 26th SAP calendar. Position 18 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position 19 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position 20 has been released. 21 was released. Position 22 will be reset to the SAP calendar May 26, 2022. Position 23 will be reset to the SAP calendar May 3rd, 2022. Position 24 reset SAP April 26, 2022. Position 25 was released. Position 26 was a plea. Position 27 was a plea. On the add-on calendar, that case will be reset, is a pending eval. On the probation revocation calendar, position 1, the case was closed. Position 2, the case was closed. Position 3 is pending. Position 4 is to continue on probation.
I do see Mr.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I do see Mr.